Hey everyone, what's up? I am Seem to be Emotionless. You can call me Savage, and welcome to Anime of the Month. Last week, unfortunately, let's just say we had a little bit of technical difficulties, waka. But now it is resolved, taken care of, and now I have nothing really to worry about. Let's just say I was having some weird issues with my camera, and then when I was finally able to get it to actually start working, I was having issues with my computer and blah blah blah. So yeah, your boy has been really unlucky as of late. So that being said, you're going to be getting a double upload today. Yep, today you're getting 2 uploads for Anime of the Month because, well, that's what's fair and right thing to do. Simply because I missed last week, so I had to make sure I double down for this week just for you guys to have the proper entertainment you deserve. That being said, more content is coming right back. Well, not more content, more like the same type of content will be returning back to this channel at a more regular rate, because I know February has been poop in my uploads in general. I'm gonna be real with you, I have just been lazy. It's not even like I had technical difficulties as most of February, but I've just been lazy on my content and feeling exhausted after January. So that being said, we're going to for sure make sure we make March smooth, easy sailing for the remainder of the time, and then go from there and such as that and whatnot. So let's hurry up and get right into the waifu of the month. Yes, I'm definitely doing it, and of course expect the next video for, of course, the final review of this series in about 30 minutes after this is uploaded. So let's get started. Also, for the rules, we're going to be a little bit more fair, because trust me, if you have read the manga and if you've watched the series, you know there are a lot of female characters, of course. There are a lot of female characters, the cast members that are actually, you know, brought into the series. And because of that, we're going to actually narrow it down, start filtering them out of who is actually on this list. That being said, we're not going to be including certain manga characters as well, because surprise, surprise, there are also a lot of girls in the manga series, which I have to unfortunately cut out because they're honestly not that important. And it sucks that they're not as important. Of course, if they were involved in the series, I would consider them a little bit more, but I didn't. Even though some of them are actually brought into 3rd season, they're not really brought in as a character, more as a, hey, let's just do a quick mentioning of this character, and then they moved on with their lives, no problem, all willy-nilly, blah blah blah. So that being said, let's just get right into it, and yeah, I have nothing else to say. Alright, starting this list off, we're going to start with Tsukio Kujo. She did not make it as waifu of the month, simply because she's unfortunately one of those characters who is just brought in season 3 and brought in as a big deal without getting much of a character arc. So you don't really get to know her character that well unless you read the manga, and you don't really get to know much about what happened to her. You get a quick rundown of what happened, but it's not like you don't get really that much detail. You don't really get to know much about her. You learn her name within like the first few episodes and such as that. So you don't really get to grow with her as a character, see what her problem was and all that for her arc, and how Keima knows of her. We just know that Keima knows her, and this is a weird case she got. Yeah, all we know about it, from if you look in the perspective of the anime, is that, well, she was a really tiny person. She became like a doll-sized individual, and Keima helped solve that one, where it was a really weird case. And unfortunately, due to that process of the way she was brought up into the series, she's starting in dead last for the waifu of the month. So anyway, moving on. Up next is Elsie de la Ermin. Now, unfortunately, Elsie is not waifu of the month. Now, I say that loosely. The reason why I say so loosely is because Elsie is a character who I see as such a great little sister, but I can't see her as any more than that. I don't know, maybe it's just because like she started off the series as, oh, I'm Keima's sister, and then she tries being a good sister in the series for him, and you know, whatever. But it's so difficult to it's hard to see her as anything else other than a sister. So I don't know, maybe it's because she pulls out the little sister role so well in the series, both the manga and the anime, to the point where it feels weird trying to make her a waifu. And plus she's so clumsy, and you know, she pulls out the little sister role so well because she's clumsy. Whereas a waifu, it's not really great to see, as in, you know, as an attribute, I guess, for waifu material. Not really waifu material to be really clumsy and unable to really get things done the right way. Sorry, Elsie, I love you. Best sister ever. Up next, we have Shiori Shiomiya. Now, the good old library girl, yes, she is just too adorable for me to consider waifu. Now, of course, technically, the shy types are kind of the types I sort of like. You know, shy, awkward, kind of my thing. Alright, I dig it. And we all know she's low-key a freak. Alright, I'm saying right now, she is low-key a freak. We can verify that from some of her books that she don't want to share. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tickle, tickle. But unfortunately, I don't really see her as waifu material. Maybe it's because of the goddess form that she develops or takes, is that it's very childlike. And I find that innocence now being brought to her as well. So that's the main reason for me, is just due to the fact that the way, you know, her goddess form, it just makes it kind of weird for me to see as, you know, like a waifu, really. I see her more of a daughter figure now, or a little sister daughter figure. So kind of the same reasons fall in for like Elsie, but in a more innocent kind of way. Up next, we have Tenri Ayukawa. Now, for her, it's a little bit different, where I simply, I don't know, I think it's just that I'm not a fan of, not her character, let me see. I do like her character, I do like her goddess that is within her. It just felt like it was like getting another Shiori, but this one didn't really read. She was just, you know, shy, and then just had a goddess that was just really abrasive. So I do think that, of course, as a character, phenomenal, because, you know, we had the very shy Shiori mixed in with the abrasive, aggressive goddess that she has within her, and I do, of course, enjoy it. I do enjoy it in that regard. But as a waifu, not really. I do feel as, you know, of course we have to make sure we take into account, I'm trying to take into account their personalities and their usefulness. I don't think that she is very waifu material, because we don't know exactly her skill sets as a woman whatsoever. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the character development in the series for her. It was done well. It's just that for the series, since we're using mainly the anime for the series, of course, we don't have much information on her as much. Of course, when you consider the manga, her chances do rise, but not enough to the point of me saying, okay, definitely waifu material. But I would honestly, it's not like it would do much help anyway. So, yeah. Has great, you know, development for her, but not enough development, if that makes any sense. I wish I didn't yawn right there, but I'm going to keep it in the video because fuck it. Next girl, we have Kanen Nakagawa. Yes, we used the pop idol for this one, and it was so hard to put her so low on this list simply because, well, she's a pop star, pink hair, and also she did so well in like the first episode of season 3. I was not expecting her to, you know, the whole goddess arc thing. I was thinking, okay, goddesses, that's neat, cool. And then apparently she has a goddess, and then I was like, oh shit, and she's being hunted down. I actually feared for my life for her. They were able to get a character who we only seen for, let me see, she was the third girl, so it took her 3 episodes. So 3 episodes of just, you know, of course, attempting to care about her. And then, you know, they did a good job to, okay, she has an actual problem, which I understand. Okay, cool, it's relatable. She's worried that, you know, as someone who was always ignored, you know, and now she's getting attention, what if all of a sudden that just goes away? People just leave her. By all means, I understand loneliness is an actual fear that a lot of people have way more than often. So they find her, of course, relatable in that regard. And then they bring her back for a short special in regards to, okay, cool. Now she's studying for a test, basically. And, you know, she swears she's seen Kama somewhere. And now that's where, you know, the whole point of season 2, where it comes into the idea of what happens to the memories. Do they actually truly lose the memories? What is going on with this whole memory thing? And then, of course, that being said, you know, cool. They brought her in for like a brief second, you know, for like a little quick snippet. And then season 3 was able to seal the deal where we actually did care about her, because now she was a little bit more of a consistent character that did pop up every once in a while. And then, of course, when she was stabbed and then about to be killed but was protected by Apollo's protection or whatever, then she was okay for, you know, at least for a little while until they were able to save her. So, of course, that being said, they did a good job at actually making sure we care about her and such, but she's not higher on the list of waifu material because I have preferences and pink hair isn't my preference. Yeah, there's my bias. That's the main reason. Of course, I do love her music though, so awesome. But she's just not waifu material because of her dependency. The amount that she depends on another person. She does, you know, have that level of dependency, which is not exactly attractive yet. Or not yet, but not attractive at all to my own personal needs. Because me, I prefer a lady who's a little bit more independent because that's less shit I need to worry about. That's the main reason I like independent women. So, yeah, due to her own dependency on other people, and Kama she even had to an extent, it kind of just turned it off for me. Of course, yeah, she betters that, but still, it's, you know, she's not 100% perfect at it yet. She's still, you know, a young girl just trying to get, you know, it through. So, yeah, moving on. Yui Goto. Now, she's so much higher on this list than expected. And the reason why is because you can basically say the same reason for her why she'd be way higher in the list for Sukiyo. Wow, I messed up her name. I forgot her name. She could be so higher on the list with Sukiyo, but she's not, because her characteristics were really developed and shown throughout, you know, trying to bring the goddess out of her body. In comparison to Sukiyo. Sukiyo seemed, it was a little quick to getting the goddess from within her to come out. It seemed a little more smooth in comparison. But for Yui, it was also showing that Kamo had it in the bag. It's just the process was a lot more different. And they actually did explore her character and actually did a good job on just making sure they got the point across that, hey, she is now officially a tomboy. She's a girl that just likes to dress as a dude. She just finds it more comfortable. She's into basically cross-dressing type of relationship. So I think that was funny. But other than that, it was I do agree to think that her character was just presented a little bit, or a lot better, you know. It was, you know, it became a lot better because of, you know, this whole situation where they actually wanted to have you grow with her and whatnot. Anyway, let's hurry up and move on because we're coming to the final 3. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? The final 3 is always the hardest, especially when you have a list kind of like this, where there's a lot more involved, when there's a lot more characters. I'm afraid to end up having a point where, like, I'm honestly afraid to always end up having like a huge amount of a female cast because of the fact that you gotta rate them bitches and it's just so hard. So, of course, number 3 is gonna have to be Ayumi Takahara. Now, I had to place Ayumi Takahara here because she's first girl. Like, she is honestly first girl. I do, of course, I love Ayumi. You know, I have a weakness for girls with short hair. All right, at least in anime. Like in, you know, when it comes to actual dating, I prefer girls with longer hair because I like to play. Anyway, you don't need to know about all that. Anyway, short hairs are my weakness in anime, and when it comes to it, I love it. Her character, you know, they were able to go through her arc in one episode and had a really decent pace to the point where you were able to actually know what the series is going to be about. She was like a good tutorial. Let me put it like that. She was a good tutorial character, and she didn't really annoy me as a character. She's shown that she was actually important since season 1 on the very first episode. And that's all we got from her. We only knew and cared about her in the first episode. Then, in season 2, we got an idea of more about her character, and such as that she got brought up again, and the whole idea of, do these girls lose their memory, from season 2 with Chihiro's arc. When her arc was going through, we all started thinking, okay, cool. Where, how, wait a minute, do people actually lose their memory, blah blah blah. Then we have season 3 where it was one of those things where it's obvious she had a goddess within her, honestly. I kind of could tell based off the fact that, you know, I was just like thinking like she kind of had the idea that she remembered Kama or something like that since season 2. So, actually, shoot, since season 1 actually. So, there was that. But other than that, it's kind of where, you know, I had to move her up to number 3 because the last 2 characters are characters I personally hold dear to my heart from the series for a lot of different reasons. So let's just hurry up and move on to the final 2. Okay, moving to the final 2. This was a difficult decision I had to make. I didn't know which one should be number 1. And the rules here, Anime of the Month, for Waifu of the Month, there has to be a definitive winner. There's no, there's a tie. There's no ties here. Alright, I have to make a decision, and it sucks. So, number 2 for Waifu of the Month goes to Chihiro. Yeah, this was a tough decision to make. Now, because once again, let's go back to the weakness of short hair. Chihiro has short hair, so I just like short hair, whatever. But the thing is, and Chihiro's character depth was done so well. It was just amazing. For the couple episodes we learned about her, how when it comes to love, she's very wishy-washy. She is the complete polar opposite of Kama when it comes to love. They're exactly the same thing, or same way when it comes to life in general, but they're also very different, like on what they do to spend time. Chihiro loves love, but in a different way that Kama loves love. Kama endears love because, you know, of course he's the master of rom-com games. So he takes love very seriously in that regard. Where she loves the idea of love, but I guess I would say like she loves the idea of it more than the actual form of it. And I also did find her character very interesting due to the fact that she was in love with Kama, even though she didn't have memories of the whole situation. She didn't remember about ever the whole arc with him, but she just fell in love with the dude and actually did love him, which I thought was pretty dope. Actually, I thought it made us realize that, wow, there are people who look at Kama and just like, I like you, and actually like him without him doing a bunch of cheesy shit basically for him and whatever. Or he doesn't have to do a bunch of cheesy shit for them. And that allows us to have a different perspective of a character who actually loves him without him having to exactly do anything. But, of course, it was hard making this because she has such great character development. Unfortunately, if they do have a season 4, she's not going to really have much character development except the very end. Because, okay, let me be real, in the manga, after this whole arc, the goddess arc, she does not become important again. She's not important at all. But the way things do work for her later is that, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say it, never mind. I'm not going to even bother. But she's not very important at all until like maybe the very last couple of pages in the manga. And I mean, it's not even that big of a deal either, unless you like closure. Of course, you know, I guess, you know, actually that is kind of a big deal. So she is a big deal, but not by seen in a lot of pages, if I could say so. It's kind of just like oh, awesome. I'm glad, actually maybe like 2 pages literally of being somewhat of an importance of the last like chapter, I believe. So yeah, that's how it just goes down for her. So let's hurry up and move to number 1, which is very biased and very unfair, but Number 1 is Hakwa Dulat Herminium. Yes, she is definitely waifu of the month. She had to be, especially like if you couldn't figure it out by the first couple of episodes of Anime the Month for, February, you know that I'm very endeared to her. She is one of, and it's because she's a tsundere. And here's the thing, I have a soft spot for girls with, short hair. She has long hair and whatever, so let me point that out. But I do think that I actually grew to like her due to the fact that when it comes to Hakwa, she started off as a character that I didn't actually like. I didn't like that she was I don't like the really cocky, overconfident type of character. It's not my favorite. When it comes to a character, she's more of a, I just thought she was like that annoying character that was like, oh, I'm the best ever, no one's better than me, ha ha ha, and we wouldn't really get to see much from her. Of course, that being said, she was known to be like the top of the class, and then, once she got into the Spirit Squad, she kind of went downhill because of the fact that, it's all that training was different in comparison. All that training was, useless basically to her because it didn't work out the way she wanted to. She was doing so well in school, and then to basically come into the real world and then to suffer. Oh, that's why I enjoy her. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I understand why I enjoy her a lot now. Actually, this is funny. This whole video is actually it kind of made me understand why I enjoy Hakwa. I think it's because of just how realistic for her character is, that she went to school, did the absolute greatest, and she was the top of the class, and then when she got into the real world, she fucking burned and crashed hard. That explains a lot. Yeah, okay. That's the reason why. It's really relatable. It's a very relatable character in that regard. So that's why Hakwa is waifu of the month. She understands how the real world works already after you graduate from school. Oh, that's a terrible reason. And I know Chihiro deserves number 1, but I have that biased love for Hakwa. So just like that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, cookies and milk, and I will definitely see you guys next time.